Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. So, I think we are on day 40 of Nancy's disappearance. Um, what do you say about this case? So we're going to look at a couple of interviews or hear what Sheriff Nanos has had to say. So as always, a little brief recap. I think most of you that will be watching this will know about this case. Just in case there's new people coming in who don't know about the Nancy Guthrie case, 84-year-old woman disappeared from her home 40 days ago. Blood spatter or blood drops in the porchway, completely disappeared. A woman whose mobility is restricted, who has problems with her heart, has a pacemaker, needs medicine to survive, daily medication. 40 days gone and nobody knows where Nancy is. And of course, the other intriguing things about Nancy is Nancy's daughter is a famous TV news anchor, Savannah Guthrie, on NBC over there in America. So she's quite a famous person, and Nancy herself, we've seen she's been on Savannah's programs, talking about how to make a bed. Then Savannah went back to her hometown and went around Tucson, Arizona, this is in the USA, went around there with her. So although Nancy herself, you wouldn't say she's famous, but she has been on the TV because of her connection with her daughter. So, that's led to conjecture. Is this something to do with her daughter, Savannah, the reason that she's been kidnapped? There's so many theories, aren't there? And we don't feel like we're really getting anywhere after 40 days. We get no real answers from the police. Quite a long time ago now, a suspect was identified, not by name, but the CCTV of the person that looked like they were covering up the video camera and entering Nancy's home was, captured on CCTV right in front of the front door, covering up the video camera with flowers. Very suspicious person in a balaclava or a ski mask, black gloves. Then there's conjecture about whether they were there before. Had they been there before? Are these two pictures taken on the same day, or were they on separate days? We don't know, because the sheriff, Nanos, who's the sheriff of Pima County where this is happening, he says, we don't know. We don't know when these things were taken. I've got a picture of him somewhere. This is Sheriff Nanos that we're going to hear from in this interview. He's took a lot of criticism. He's dealt with this case very badly right from the outset. And now, of course, there's the debate of, is he even dealing with it anymore? Is it the FBI? Has he finally turned it over to the FBI? Is he cooperating with the FBI? There's a lot of bad blood between him and the FBI. So it's a bit of a mess, this case. In fact, it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess, really, or that's how it feels. Now, it may be that behind the scenes, it's not a complete mess and, things are progressing. We've had two people detained and spoken to and then released, not necessarily cleared, because Sheriff Nanos, the only people he's cleared have been Nancy's family, her children, adult children, Savannah, Annie and Cameron, and their spouses apparently have been cleared, but we don't really believe a word that Sheriff Nanos says, do we? So nobody believes what he says. I don't know why he bothers to. He seems like he went for a long time where what you wanted from him was a press conference. He still hasn't done a press conference. He's doing these individual interviews. But you sort of watch him now, and you just think, what? You can't understand what he's talking about. I'm sorry to say, you'll find the same with these interviews. The bits that I've watched, I just think, what are you actually saying? Trying to work out what Sheriff Nanos is actually saying is really difficult, because he says something and he almost immediately contradicts it, or says it in a way that you can't really work out what he means, or he says it's that's our belief. Other people might have their beliefs. He's he's not supposed to operate on beliefs, is he? He's supposed to operate on evidence. That's what YouTubers do, talk about their opinions, and the people in the chat, that's what happens in chats and things. We give our opinions and what we think. I don't think the police is supposed to do that. Anyway, you'll let me know what you think. I'm a bit tired. I have to say, it's so, I really feel for Nancy's family, because I don't know about you, but how this whole case feels, it's very depressing. It's just the thought that woman could be plucked out of her bed like that in the middle of the night, and 40 days later, nobody knows what's happened to her. I find it is really depressing, just horrible to think about. There's lots of horrible things going on, of course, in the true crime world. This isn't the only horrible thing, but it's just something about this. I think it's a vulnerability, and the fact that it feels like, bad things happen, but you like to think that cases get solved, especially things like this. You can't do anything more normal than just go to bed in your own house, and the thought of poor Nancy maybe, waking up to see this face in front of her with the ballot. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night or early hours of the morning, and that's looking down at you. It'd be absolutely terrifying. Anyway, so I find this case is really affecting me, and this part of me just wants to leave it behind. But I just feel like that would be like me copping out, if you like. I don't know how to explain it. It is, it's affecting me. It's affecting me. I'm thinking about it all the time. But every day you're hoping there'll be some sort of a break. Somebody will be found accountable for this, and then it doesn't happen. And it's, as I say, that's me. I didn't even know Nancy, so I just don't know how this family feels. I really don't. And so I feel for them as well, and that's upsetting as well, knowing what they're going through, or don't know what they're going through, but thinking what they're going through. Anyway, we're going to see what Sheriff Nanos has got to say, and then we're going to have a look at the rucksack. I am still obsessed with the rucksack that this guy had with him. Why did he have a rucksack with him? And this rucksack is packed. That's what we're going to look at. It's absolutely jam-packed full of stuff, the rucksack that this man had with him when we see the pictures of it. What the hell did he have in there? What burglar takes a great big packed rucksack like that with them to burgle somewhere? Just, it's sort of... I just can't get that's the thing with this case. You can't get your head around any of it, can you? Anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks to my members. Special thank you to my members and people who've sent me Ko-fis, etc. My sort of computer fund has sort of gone on hold. I haven't really been pushing that. It's just all been about this case, but thank you, and I will get there in the end. And thank you to those of you who leave messages, suggest cases, send emails, etc. I try and get back to all your emails. I don't always manage it, but I try my best. Thank you. And now let's have a look at what's going on in this case. So, hello, lovely lurkers. Hello, replay crew. Let's have a look what Sheriff Nanos had to say. So he's done 2 interviews, I believe, and one NBC. Let's have a look at that one first. See what we have to think about it. But don't forget, let me know what you think about Sheriff Nanos. Sure, there's somebody out there who thinks he's bloody brilliant, but I don't think, I don't know. I'm sort of flummoxed with his. How did he get to be sheriff? First of all, I mean, they say that he cheated a little bit, don't they? But did he? I don't know. But as you can tell, I'm a bit sort of jaded as far as Sheriff Nanos is concerned. I almost don't want to watch his interview, but you watch the interview, you try and get some insight from it. Thing is, we're desperate for some insight into what happened in this case, aren't we? We're desperate, really. Human beings like to make sense of things. We want to make sense of this case. It makes no sense whatsoever because we don't know. Was Nancy targeted or was it random? I personally think it was a targeted attack. Sheriff Nanos has come out now and said it was targeted, but he doesn't tell us why he thinks that. Now, no, he can't give away all the information when it's an active case, but anyway, you'll see when you listen to him talking why. I just find that I listen to him and then afterwards I think, what did he say? I don't know what he said. But yeah, these are all the mysteries. Was it targeted? Was it a burglar gone wrong? Was the intention to kidnap Nancy? Was the intention to kill Nancy? Was Nancy killed in the house before she was even taken away? Was she already dead? Or was she taken away for a ransom? But then something went wrong and she died. So it all went wrong. What about the ransom notes? There were all these ransom notes sent to media of all people, TMZ of all people, which is like a gossip media. It's not even, sending it to like the media station maybe where Savannah worked or, but it's never been declared who sent those ransom notes, whether they were genuine or not. They seem to have dried up now, don't they? But no proof of life was ever given, no proof of death. There's no proof of anything as far as we know. 2 people are detained, or 3 people actually, or more if you include their families, detained, questioned, released, cars searched, houses searched, nothing. That was weeks ago. So don't forget, that's quite a long time ago now where people were detained. Nobody's been detained for, I think it's about 4 weeks probably. Now today could be the day. I say this every day. Today could be the day. Please let today be the day when someone is detained and arrested, charged. Nancy's found. Where is she? Okay, let's have a look what Mr. Nanos has to say. And let me know, as always, what you think about it. I think we'll watch it in full first of all, and then I'll look for it after. Talk about it after.
Sheriff, I just want to first, we can start with that if you want. I wasn't going to, but we can. What do you want to say to, how do you respond to this report that says that you are not working with the FBI and holding back evidence?
Yeah. I've said from the beginning, and actually even at our last press conference, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are connected at the hip. That has not changed. Decision with a good discussion about why things need to go one way or the other. In this instance, it really was about, and it's not just to do that, and the decisions are made. They're really not my decisions. There are our team's decisions. They get together and they talk about what they think is best. In this case of blocking evidence from the FBI, that's he processed our crime scene, took all of our evidence. That morning, wasn't days later that we contacted that morning, analysis that you guys could really help with. They said, Sheriff, whatever you want. We gave that to them. The rest of the evidence we sent to our lab. This is a lab, they may be in Florida, I don't know, maybe they were in Phoenix at the time we got them. Again, so many corporate companies have come to us and said, Sheriff, tell us what you need, pro bono. They're not charging us anything. So the $200,000, I not a clue. But what I would tell you is this: the FBI and us sit down at tables. Hey, I've got this mission up in Rio Rico. There's no egos there. We're going to go and process it. We're going to take markers and get profiles on what we believe could have DNA. But we're also going to take buccal swabs of you and your family and your friends that have been there to eliminate, right? So in this case, all of that evidence back 10 days further, there's gloves found. So the FBI says, okay, lab, because why would you want to have evidence over here and all the markers, if you will, for elimination over here? It's just adding a step to it. Let's just keep it all in one work. They both are capable. Let's just to eliminate that. Okay, this lab has, we've got a marker. Can you send us your eliminations? Or vice versa. Can you send us yours and we'll eliminate for you? It doesn't make sense. It's just we talked to FBI, they said, yep, makes sense, thanks, Sheriff. And we move on them.
So you're basically saying this is maybe
400 officers, and they may be right, but somewhere we go, we keep going.
Yeah. Are you not sharing? Are you sharing the results?
Everything
with FBI?
Absolutely, and they are with us.
Okay.
The videos that came from their submittal to a company, they came back, they share it with us. People thought, oh, you had those videos forever. I think we had them for about 2 hours, and we submitted them to the media and said, we need your help, because that has really given us quite a lot of leads and advantage on this, and we're hoping we've got some good leads today that we're working on that we hope pan out.
Who is currently leading this investigation?
We are. It is an effort. It is a step in step. John Edwards called me last night. He calls me every night. I call them. I was at their command post the other day when we were in Rio Rico. They've been at our command post. It is really, there's so many leads. They generated 14,000 in the first 10 days. We generated 18,000. We need each other. And that's really, so there's no ego here as to who's leading it. Right now, it is a state case. We're handling it, but we can't do this by ourselves. We don't know that.
So
we need their help.
Lead agency is Sheriff's Department with assistance from FBI? Or
yes, that's how this started. We got to work in this case. This is what we need from you. They said, anything at all, Sheriff, whatever you need. And now it's grown that, well, yeah, like I say, you got 400 cops out there working this.
Did you reach out to the FBI?
Did I? No. No, my team works with them all the time.
Okay, so the Sheriff's Department reached out. I think that was part of the
Yes, I'm
report
sorry.
that it
Yes.
said that like you guys didn't reach
Yes.
out and they reached out or something.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe our team, after I got a
Okay.
brief, they said, yeah, FBI is going to help us with this. Well, great, and we'll do this, and we'll work. And once they got into public safety in Phoenix, Tucson Police, our regional team, everybody said, Sheriff, what do you need?
Okay, I'm going to ask you about those gloves. You said how many gloves were found?
I can't give you the numbers, but we found the first pair, I think, was a search team that went out, FBI, deputies, everybody, about 2 miles away. There's been some reporting that there was a glove in that is, no.
There's no glove in the house.
Never was found a glove in that house.
Okay, was there a glove found closer to the property?
2 miles away is the closest we have.
And that's one pair of gloves.
One pair of gloves, I believe.
Is there another pair of gloves?
There's.
I was going to just let it play and not say anything, but you just can't. So he doesn't even know how many pairs of gloves. You know, he said, I believe. That's what he's always saying. I believe, or my understanding. He should know exactly how many gloves were found. He should know every ins and outs of this case. If he's coming on to do an interview about it, I know he's got other cases going on, he's got other things going on, but this is the most high profile case that he's dealing with. And he is the sheriff. So people expect him to come on and not say what he believes or what's his belief or he thinks or he's not there. He needs to come on and say, this is the situation. You know, for things like that, they know how many gloves were found. You know, it's a finite number. It's not like, you know, pay your money, take your choice. It's like, was there, 16 gloves, I think the FBI said. How many gloves were there? It's a simple, that is an answer that he can give. But he's like, oh, my belief is, manner.
How many gloves?
We go out 5-10 miles, and
he doesn't know.
As you expand that search, and let me say this: that's a lead we got, and we went in with that lead. I don't want to tell somebody, well, don't call us if it's 2.5 miles. We have to go and gather it all, and now it's really growing. But that's part of investigations like this. So you go and you get them, and then you prioritize. Well, this one's about 10 miles away.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hold off on that. Let's do the one that's 1 or 2 miles away. That kind of thinking. But that's all that is it's about all the leads come in. We develop evidence, just phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Leads aren't just from searches, from search once served. All of those things develop.
Do you believe that any of those gloves could be the gloves we saw the person in the...
We would never eliminate it unless there was something that our labs would tell us, yeah, this isn't what you're doing.
Are you looking or interested in potentially a white truck?
I've heard that so again, I can't get into all those weeds. I know.
So he says, I've heard that. See, he's like talking as if he's one of us. Like, oh, I've heard there's a white truck involved. Is there a white truck involved, or are you looking at a white truck? Yes, no, or I can't comment on that. Not, oh, I've heard that. Like he's one of us sitting watching about this case. He is everyone's looking to him for answers, or at least if he can't answer, because there will be things he can't talk about because it's part of the investigation. I think when you just look at his face, he hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. So it doesn't inspire with any confidence. If you say to a sheriff or someone who's investigating a case, oh, what about the knife that was found by the canal? Oh, I heard that. I heard there was a knife found by the canal. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? He's to say, oh, I heard that. Does he know or not? Is he in charge of, like he says, they're jointly in charge of the investigation? Well, obviously not. But his ego won't let him say that. I think that's what's going on. I think he's not in the loop. in the investigation, but his ego won't let him say that. Instead of just saying, look, the FBI's dealing with it all now. And I've got absolute faith that they're going to solve this case, you know, but I don't know the details. That's all he has to say. He has to be honest. Well, I heard that. Yeah.
Coming in about vehicles in the area that were concerning. We track every lead down. And so maybe they're, you know, I don't know. That's not suspicious. All of those things, I think we're getting closer.
Like what? A day, two,
Oh
three?
my, some of these cases go for months. Some of these cases can go for years. That we know.
So are you at that point where you think it could go on that long?
I don't rule out anything. It's like I say, these things come in highs and lows. We get a lead, we get really excited, we're way up here, and then something says, okay, that's not the right lead, and we go back down. Now we get another lead, and it's what keeps us motivated. You got all these cops out there that want to find her, and they get excited. I wish you could have been with me in that comm room or that with the FBI and watching all those agents and detectives get all energized and charged up when they thought they had this could be it. And you see their faces and then when they realize maybe not, look, they're tough guys, tough gals. They're going to get there.
What was it that allowed that court order? What was it that you potentially had on that person in Rio Rico that allowed the court order search?
There were several things there, and I can't get into that.
Have you totally written that person off?
You know, that's the thing is everybody wants to know if we eliminate anybody. You know, you don't eliminate people. What you do is you go and investigate that lead until a point in time where you realize that, okay, maybe there's an alibi. Maybe there's in this case, we believe he was a delivery man. He was in the area for a reason. Okay, but that doesn't mean we're ending. That doesn't mean he's completely eliminated. What if, and the search warrant, we're processing that evidence. What if that evidence comes back and says, Nancy's DNA was found in his home? Well, that would make you say, wait a minute, we got to go back, right? And that is not the case. Please don't.
I won't. But it does sound, the man had, Carlos, is that correct? The man who spoke out?
I believe that's
yeah. He had said that, is this me? No, it's you. He had said, this gentleman had said that he was a delivery driver and that perhaps he had driven in the area. So it sounds like that's maybe what it was, that he was delivering in the area.
That's part of it. There's a lot of things there that we looked at.
Okay.
So it's not just, oh, here's a delivery, here's somebody driving the area. There's a lot more to that. And that built up for us enough probable cause in our eyes and the judges to say, I think we need a search warrant.
Okay. Thank you.
And let me say something on him. You're naming him Carlos or whatever.
Yeah.
We do not name anybody that's investigative lead.
I won't say that you're naming him, but you're corroborating that he's not just crazy going on the limb saying he's the guy. Okay, fine. So what other
I think you can even tell when people are interviewing him, they don't know what to ask him because they're completely flummoxed with everything.
Several pieces of evidence, gloves. What else has been found?
Oh, I'm not. Again, I can't go in there. All I'm saying is we're getting some great leads based on a lot of calls, a lot of people tipping, but also on that video we have, the picture you have.
Do you expect there'll be more surveillance video to come out?
I hope so. That's why you see a push. We're making another push today with Ring and all those people with their home cameras, because we're actually extending that. I think we asked at first probably for that time frame we knew that existed, and then we took it out further. We're asking for
right. Why January 11th? What were investigators asking about that day?
You know, they have a reason. I don't know that, but I know that they have a valid reason for that date.
When I ask about surveillance camera, though, do you expect more surveillance video to come out from Nancy's home?
Well, I hope so. We'll see. We've submitted it all,
You're working with the tech companies still.
and yeah, we've asked them, and
Okay.
they're working as best they can.
Is there anything else you can tell us about this suspect? Because some of the things that's, we have the height and the, average sort of build, but those are pretty generic. Do we know hair color or race or anything like that?
You have the same video I have. So that's all we have.
Do you believe that maybe this person purchased the backpack recently?
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay.
I have no way of knowing that.
Okay. And I assume you guys have been in touch with Walmart to figure out.
There's all kinds of investigative efforts into all of that.
Okay. I'm going to just open it up, Andy, if you have a question.
We were talking about leads. You were talking about tips and leads. How many total, and is the number of quality leads increasing?
So
I'll ask you that. How many leads have you gotten since the video was released?
So I'm going to go back. I think 2 days ago we were up to 18,000 here, and the FBI was up to about, I think they said 14,000.
Since the video has been released, have you seen an increase in substantial?
We saw
leads?
when that video was released, within a matter of hours, we went up about 4,500 more leads.
Do you believe someone out here in the Tucson area knows who that person is?
I do believe that. I do.
Oh,
Oh,
look, he actually answered a question there properly. He said, I think this is local personally as well, but I still cannot understand how this person has not been found yet. Maybe they have been found, they just haven't got the full evidence. But I think this is very local, to be honest. I thought this was the most recent interview. It's actually one from a little while ago, but actually I've never seen it before, so it's been interesting to watch. In the latest interview, which we'll have a look at in a minute, he says that Nancy was targeted, and he also goes on to say that people are not safe. Before he said early on, that there's no reason to think that the public were at any risk. Now he's saying everyone's at a risk.
we have told the community, somebody out there is, I think Savannah said, somebody out there knows this person. Somebody out there has information on this. We need, we have what we have in front of us.
Okay.
One last question.
Okay.
I have something from Michelle.
Yep, go for it.
How did you rule out, you can ask it, how did you rule out the man in the video who was trying to unlock a door,
Okay.
overnight video?
How did, that's what,
I
don't
don't,
think we know.
yeah, I don't know that. I just know that it was, they've looked at it and for whatever reason, they felt like, okay, this isn't the same, but I don't know that.
Okay, I guess it's just, what is your message?
Right, okay, let's have a look at the latest interview. We've got it here on Instagram, or part of it anyway. It's hard to find the whole interview, just let's see. Don't know why it's so difficult just to find this interview. It should be forward, shouldn't it, really? Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, you'd think it'd be straightforward, but nothing ever is it?
This suspect could strike again, whoever did this.
Right, so he said there, she asked him, do you think this suspect would strike again? And he said, absolutely. He said, we think we know who did this. So this is his latest he's done 2 interviews over the last couple of days. So he says, we know who did this, or we think we know who did this.
It was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep your wits about you.
That's an interesting way to put it as well. He said, don't think because it happened to, and he was going to say Nancy, but then he said the Guthrie family. Because this happened to the Guthrie family.
We pressed Nanos about that potential motive. There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
See how he said that again? We had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished. Well, when she asked him, do you think you've got motive? And he said, we've had one from day.
Tonight, 6 weeks since her disappearance. Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep your wits about you.
We pressed Nanos about that potential motive. There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Nanos says he's intentional.
Now, do you see what I'm saying? For a police officer to say, we have our beliefs and everybody else has theirs. That's, as I say, like something I might say, or like what people might say in the chat. Well, that's my opinion. I know everybody's got their own, we've all got our beliefs. He's the policeman, he's the sheriff in charge. And he's not talking about definites, he's talking about his beliefs, and everybody else has theirs. Very weird, this guy, really.
Withholding their theory and other details in the case, citing the integrity of the investigation. He confirmed investigators have been asking about potential internet issues the night of Nancy's abduction and said they're looking into the possibility a Wi-Fi jammer could have been used or if there was some other electrical disruption that night. The sheriff also says he's still hopeful the DNA found in the home will lead to the suspect. Liz Kreutz, NBC News. Tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos.
Well, honestly, I'm just completely bamboozled by this guy. You feel, he'll talk for hours and you still don't feel like he's actually said anything that's worth talking about. He's a very strange guy. To watch him being interviewed, and then after the interview, think about it and think, what has he actually said there? Anyway, what he said there, of course, then he said that he thought Nancy was targeted. They've thought that right from the beginning. Nobody should think that what's happened to the Guthrie family couldn't happen to them. Everybody has to keep their eyes open. We'll watch that just one more time because it needs to be watched more than once to make sense of what he says.
Giving an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie nearly 6 weeks since her disappearance. Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it.
That's interesting, isn't it? He said, we believe we know why he did this. So does that mean they feel it was a robbery? Or, how do they know why he did it? Do you see what I'm saying? Is it just me? Or what does he mean?
It was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people.
We think it was targeted, but we can't be 100% sure of that. So I'd be silly to tell people that they're safe. He's saying nothing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep Keep your wits about you.
We pressed Nanos about that potential motive.
There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
You know, I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Nanos says he's
We have our beliefs and everybody else has theirs.
intentionally withholding their theory and other details in the case, citing the integrity of the investigation. He confirmed investigators have been asking about potential internet issues the night of Nancy's abduction and said they're looking into the possibility a Wi-Fi jammer could have been used or if there was some other electrical disruption that night. The sheriff also says he's still hopeful the DNA found in the home will lead to the suspect. Liz Kreutz, NBC News. Tonight,
So I think that's more or less enough. I don't know if I can stand listening to Sheriff Nanos anymore because it doesn't give you any, it doesn't help. Like everybody's trying to understand what's happened. And listening to Sheriff Nanos speak doesn't help, does it? So another art, just before we have a look at this rucksack that I'm fascinated, I feel like I could sit on here and speculate for hours now because that's what the sheriff does. That's his beliefs. He's got his beliefs. Other people have got theirs. These are the sort of things the sheriff is saying. Why don't the FBI say something? Can't they do a press conference and tell us what's really going on? Anyway. So apparently there's other things that are being said in articles are that he's been disregarding significant evidence. There was a damaged utility box, wasn't there, in the area which he dismissed as not being relevant, though apparently it's been fixed now. But the FBI have said he shouldn't disregard any evidence, anything. And it's speculated that power outage could have impacted local home surveillance footage. Neighbours of Nancy reported to law enforcement that video from the night of her disappearance is either missing or marked as not available. But the Pima County Sheriff's Department maintains the damaged utility box does not constitute direct evidence. However, at the same time, the FBI is continuing to probe whether the area's power was deliberately disrupted. Also, don't forget of his, the supposed lies on his resume, etc. So, thing is, Sheriff Nanos has come under, obviously, a lot of scrutiny because of this being such a high-profile case. But he hasn't come out well from it, has he? It's not like, as I keep saying, who's there, saying that actually, he's good at his job? Nobody except him. He's the only person that comes out in his own defense. Anyway, there's Nancy on this article. There's a bring her home, bless. Yeah, so this was this photo was taken by a streamer, I think. This was the electricity box. It's apparently now been repaired. Apparently. So yeah, he's not coming out of this well, is he? And it's his own fault, personally, I think. And the only person who's coming out defending his reputation is him. But nobody else seems to be coming out and saying what a brilliant sheriff he is. But then when you watch him being interviewed, he doesn't seem to have a clue what's going on in this case, does he? Everything's his belief or he thinks. Doesn't come out. He does his interviews, but he never seems really prepared, to not know how many gloves were found. He should know everything about this case. I know there's other crimes going on in Pima County, but he is the sheriff. This is the most high profile case. He's gone to an interview to talk about it. You go to an interview to talk about a case, you make sure you've got all the information at hand, surely. You know, it just always comes over like, I say, after the interview with him, you feel like you know less, not more. Anyway, so I want to look at, let's see, I want to look at this rucksack now. So I probably know as much as he does, because I could say, oh, I think this, or I think that, or I believe this, or I believe that. Just like he says, you know, I feel like maybe I know more than him. I don't know. He seems less, I don't know, assured. Anyway, there's a couple of this rucksack is totally fascinating me. Look at that rucksack there. It's packed to the brim. You know, you couldn't fit anything else in it, could you? What is in there? When this person decided to rock up to Nancy Guthrie's porch and put the flowers up to block out the camera, which again seems really weird to me. You know, this person was supposed to have been prepared. You get some people saying there's, you know, there'll be a practiced burglar, you know, and then other people say no, they're an amateur. And to me, it's so conflicting, because if they seem like an amateur when they grab the plants to cover up the camera, that made them look like an amateur. But 40 days have gone past and they haven't been caught. So they can't be too much of an amateur, because they've escaped being caught for 40 days, you know, despite these CCTV images. But yeah, what is in that rucksack? What is in there? It's packed to the brim. Who takes a packed rucksack to do a burglary? No, you would take an empty bag to carry things, surely, to carry things that you were stealing. And of course, they've got a gun there. And yeah, even though they're turning up at Nancy's in the dead of night, they've got that rucksack it's got reflective strips on it. The other thing I don't understand is why they're not dressed in black. Why aren't they dressed completely in black? So somebody would see them. If somebody drove past, they'd be visible, because they've got a reflective rucksack on and light clothing. You know, they haven't got black clothing on. There's so many contradictions, isn't there? There's like, you know, they've sneaked in and out like a thief in the night. Took Nancy with them somewhere, you know, whether they've still got Nancy with them or whether they've dumped her somewhere or whatever. They got in and out of this property without anybody seeing them, despite the fact they had light clothing on and a reflective rucksack. And what is in that rucksack? So you can see, so the rucksack itself is packed, and then even the pocket on the outside looks full of something. You know, you couldn't fit anything else in that rucksack. What is in it? Do you think there's a tarp in it or something to you know, I know it sounds awful, but they've got something in there. What do you take with you in a rucksack when you're going to rob an old lady, if that's what they were going to do? What do you take with you? Like, people on other streams have said to me, oh, maybe there's tools in there, you know, to get into the property. That doesn't look like tools to me. It's almost like there's a box axe in there, or there's things in that rucksack. They're not jabby things, like if it was a hammer or a jemmy or even a screwdriver or whatever, it's not like that, is it? It's like there's, something, I don't know, packed in there, not jabby things like tools. Very odd. I honestly, I'm absolutely fascinated with the rucksack and what is in it. What is in it? It's obviously significant. Just couldn't fit any more stuff in it. If you've ever, used a rucksack or whatever for hiking or blah, 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 to actually, like if you had, I don't know, sort of things you'd put in it would be water, maybe some food if you were going hiking. That is packed with something. So something. Let's have a look at the video. I wonder if we can watch it. Yeah. What details can investigators learn from the black and white camera video? Yeah. What indeed? Look at that. What's in here? So not only the rucksack itself, which is quite a big rucksack, it's full of stuff. Oh yeah, this is like if you go on a Ryanair flight, isn't it? If you go on a cheap flight and you've got to keep you want to pack as much luggage as you can into your carry-on bag. Rucksacks sometimes are better than suitcases, aren't they? Because you can fit more stuff in them, you can roll it up more, you've got the outside bit here. Look at that. Look, what's in there? What is in this man's rucksack? So a lot's been talked about what make it is and where they might have bought it from. Was it from Walmart? I mean, it could be from anywhere, couldn't it? It could be, could be something they bought on Marketplace on Facebook or whatever. They might not have even bought it. It might belong to somebody else originally. But to me, it's more significant how packed it is. And, you wish you could add sort of X-ray eyes that you could see through, because I think the key is in there. This person has gone into Nancy's house with that rucksack so full of something for a reason. And, I'm wondering if they were prepared to, do something to Nancy, and that they were always intending to carry her away, and there's something in there to help them carry her away. What else could it be? Anyway, okay, I'm going to finish there. Please let me know what you think might be in the rucksack. What are your theories on this case? And what are your opinions of Sheriff Nanos? Now, as far as I know, there's no other updates than that, just in the sort of interviews. So what he has said to us clearly is that she was targeted. And he has said, we've all got, I mean, obviously he's talking about Pima County, but I think it's true. We do all have to keep our eyes open. My problem now is I've become absolutely paranoid. So last night the doorbell rang. My doorbell rang. It wasn't like at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I think it was about 7 o'clock in the evening, something like that. I was alone in the house, with the dogs. And the good thing in my house is as soon as the doorbell rings, that's it. All the dogs, is a chorus of barking. I didn't answer the door. I didn't even open my, because you come into my house, you have to go up steps to get to the front door. So people don't tend to come right up to the front door. I didn't even open that, though, to see who it was. It really gave me a start, And I was thinking, oh my God, who's that? Because it was dark outside. Anyway, I think it was the postman. But he rang the bell about 3 or 4 times, you know, like really pressing it. He is a complete twonk, this postman. I'm going to tell him next time I see him. But I didn't even open the dogs. The dogs were all going mad. Anyway, it was the postman because he left something in the post box. But this is how it sort of affects you, a case like this in the end. You know, I didn't even want to open the door or even look through the window or do anything. It was just like, oh my God, who's that? Who's that? You know, when someone rings on your doorbell, you're not expecting anybody. It's like, who's that? Who's that? And that, as I say, that wasn't even at 2 o'clock in the morning. Thank God, you know, it was going to be, I mean, I just wouldn't answer it. You know, I don't think I ever would, to be honest. Even, but now after covering true crime, that definitely wouldn't. So, yeah, poor Nancy. I mean, you know, where is she? Where is she? What happened to her? And the sheriff saying now that he believes he always said from day one that she was targeted. That is not true, actually. That is definitely not true. As usual, Sheriff Nanos goes back on something different that he said right at the beginning. So anyway, let me know what you think. I'll see you really soon in the next video. I'm waffling on a little bit now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring about Nancy. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you really soon. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.